Hey YouTube, this is going to be a quick video on to show you how to replace the headlight level sensor. This car, the 2003 BMW Z4 E85 platform, has two headlight position sensors located on the car. There's one on the front axle, and then there's another one on the rear axle. I had an issue where my headlight sensor was broken, and the you can see here's the little bushing that comes with the sensor, and here's the other piece of the plastic of that arm. I noticed this when I worked on my car like years ago and just never sought to get it replaced, but then when I was down here working on my suspension, like I realized, the sensor is located right on this bracket right here, and it's connected to that little arm that is down there on the control arm. And then there's the connector for the sensor. So I realized it's in a very easily accessible location. So what I did is I actually replaced this just like last winter, and everything went fine, put it all back together, and I realized when I went to go do my suspension change that this broke again. And one thing that I never understood why these broke in the past. I thought it was just from like wear and tear, but I've realized why they break. So with having the suspension being done, doing the suspension on this car, I realized if you take the shock out of its little holder, the control arm, as you know, will swing further down, and the amount of force that that control arm is swinging down ends up breaking that plastic piece for this sensor when that happens, just because it's not really strong plastic, and it just breaks perfectly off here, so that it's the last thing trying to hold the control arm up from falling all the way down when you disconnect the strut. I didn't realize, when you go and take off that bottom bolt for the strut, that it causes that to happen and breaks this thing. So I accidentally broke it when I went to go change the struts about a month ago. So I just got a new one. Luckily, I bought it through FCP Euro and got a lifetime replacement on it. But the only thing is I noticed is this part went up $24 in the past 6 months. So kind of doesn't make it worth it, because I'm only going to get back the value I paid for that. I think this was like $62, and then this is now $85. So it really went up in a matter of 5 months. So I was doing a parts order from them, and I was like, I guess might as well go and try and replace this. So what you want to do is, get the car up, take the wheel off, and then you want to get in, you stick your head in here, and you'll see the sensor located, and you'll see that the arm is just kind of hanging on its own, and this little connector is just hanging out on its own as well. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to try and get it out of there, and the way you disconnect everything is, the connector for the sensor will be plugged in. You have to stick like a flathead screwdriver to you got to press these tabs down, this top one and bottom one. You want to press this top one down. You're going to need to stick like a flathead screwdriver in there to get like access into this tab, because it butts right up against this this plate here, so you really don't have much room to get your fingers in there. So if you get a flathead, I've even managed to just really shove my thumb in there and try and press it down a little bit and push down on the bottom, and you kind of need like a flathead or a pry tool to just push this connector outward so it disconnects. And then once you disconnect that, then the only thing holding up this the entire sensor are two 4mm Allen little bolts. There's just these two bolts, and they bolt on when you move this arm out of the way. They bolt on, right here and right here. So you just take those two out with a 4mm Allen. Get that out of there, and then you also need to remove this nut that's on that little arm, because it's got the existing bushing from the old piece that's still on there, as well as the little plastic piece just hanging out. So you don't want to reuse this at all, because it came off. It was part of this, and it came off. So you get this nut out, I think it's like let me see, it's a 10 millimeter. Get this nut out so that you're ready to go to install the new one. And all you got to do is just, you know, put these two screws in and screw them right up into here. And then you're going to position the arm so that it connects right onto this guy. And then you're just going to put down your 10 millimeter nut and tighten it down, and it should be all set. So yeah, I'll show you the final product. All right, so I got it back on. When you put that nut on there, you gotta get a 10 millimeter wrench and grab onto this little nut so that this thing doesn't spin. Similar to the end links with the struts when you go and take off that connect to the sway bar. So you gotta grab onto that with a 10 millimeter to tighten that nut down. And it's the same when you go to take this off, you gotta grab onto that so it's not just freely spinning. And then you can see I got, you know, this screw, that bolt, and the bolt down there back on. And then all you gotta do now is connect your connector here. There you go. Feel it click, it should be all set. All right, have a good one.